Hello, everybody. I am here with BBChosen, more commonly known as Seth. And we are here to talk a little bit about what an amazing Monday it must have been for Seth. So, without further ado, Seth, why don't you introduce yourself and talk about how you're feeling right now a little bit before we rewind?
Yeah, I don't even know if at this point I'm better known as Seth. I think just about everyone knows me as Chosen. They'll call me Hosen, all the things. But yeah, I can't even. Yesterday was such a blur. Like when he said that there were going to be four people, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be interesting. Like, I wonder who it's going to be. And then when I came up as number three, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I'm so glad I tuned into this stream. And so, yeah, it was super funny. Pete made a comment about it and how I gifted a membership in the middle of it, trying to bribe somebody to vote for me. But at the end of the day, I think I got like 56% of the votes, and it went really well for me. So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to stop you there right now because we're going to get into that whole kind of spiel and how the emotions as you kind of went up to that. But let's kind of rewind. I guess first things first. You are BBChosen. Do you kind of want to explain how you got that name on Twitter?
Yeah, so I started playing fantasy football like 6 years ago, but got into best ball like 2.5 years ago. And it's really the thing that I've enjoyed the most, just in the fantasy scene out of everything. And so on all of the Discord chats or even on YouTube, I ended up because it was like my actual like in-person name, and I didn't really want to use that online a whole lot. And so I was like, what name should I do? And so just best ball chosen, because chosen's a gamer tag that I use a lot, but chosen was taken, so that was unfortunate. But so I went I went along. Yeah, chosen was chosen. Anyway, I went along with best ball chosen, and it's just kind of been around for, I don't know, past 2 years or so, being in chats. I'm a lurker pretty often. Like you won't see me in the Pete Overzet chats or Davis chats very often, but I'm in there, and you know, but in Discords and whatnot, I check
Yeah.
in frequently.
So I guess how did you first learn about Pete Overzet, the Deposit Kingdom, and that type of content?
Um, I I I just started researching fantasy football a lot, and I really liked live streams quite a bit. And so he's just one of the bigger ones. I think that I found Davis first, but then he was always doing stuff with Davis. I don't know if that's good
Is that
for
because Davis is always online, or because he's really funny when he does show up?
Um, yeah, I'm not sure how I found Davis first, but I think that I did. It was either Liam or Davis, but I mean, at that point they were doing a lot of stuff together. But
So, on the topic of Davis, can you do your best rendition of Davis's song, at least the hook?
like Davis Matic, baby, like listen,
Yeah, yeah, that one.
well, so not that. I think that's Buck St. Thomas's song, but um, listen to Davis Matic, baby. Yeah, I
I'm
don't know.
just a
Yeah,
slappy drafter, baby.
yeah,
That
there you go.
was pretty good. You went falsetto for that one. I like that. And
Yeah, I
so,
mean, I'm so self-conscious I wouldn't actually do it in my own singing voice, so I had to do it, some random way.
shout out to the commish, otherwise known as JPD LFF, our main man over here producing content.
There
But
we
I'm taking
go.
the spot as the host today, Mitch. So you discovered, so you didn't come through fantasy footballers. You didn't come through like Sigmund Bloom, none of the bigger channels. You found Davis first, so you were on YouTube quite a bit. Then I'm guessing.
Yeah, for sure.
And then how did you, when you first approached Pete's content, what did you like about it?
Well, obviously, it seemed like he had a lot of people on that had quite the edge. But I think personally, for me, I really like Pete and his personality, and just the way that he presents himself on on screen. I think that he's not only professional but also fun to listen to, which is a pretty hard combo to
And did
put
you know
together.
Pete in the man's days, or did you hear of him back in the man's days?
I have no idea what you're even talking about.
Okay, that
But,
tells me enough. A lot of people are like, "Hey, I knew Pete from back in the man's days. I've known Pete's content for a decade now." And I'm just like, "Man, you're really showing your age. You might want to tamp that down."
yeah, I have no idea.
So the show gets announced. You're lurking in chat. What happens then?
Well, at first I texted one of my friends that I in the fantasy scene that I think is pretty funny and has a funny personality. He's like, dude, you should apply. And he's like, no, I don't want to go on screen. That doesn't sound very fun to me. Like, that sounds pretty fun to me. And so I started thinking about like, I want to do this in a video, or I want to do this in a video. And then some of the submissions started rolling in, and like, oh man, they did this thing that I wanted to do, or oh, they did this. I mean, it wasn't like that crazy, but there were some things that I wanted to do, and then they just kind of had gotten done. But then I so I rewatched like, I don't know, 4 times the video about just Pete announcing the contest. I just really wanted to understand what he was looking for and what the videos were going to be like. And I noticed that people really were screwing up the truth serum takes, which Pete, ended up talking a whole lot about right around that same time. And so I thought it would be funny if I made the majority of my video about, people, giving hot takes instead of truth serum takes or whatever. And then at the same time, Davis had just gotten out with his slap model, and the slap model really, really likes breakout age. And so I wanted to, throw in a breakout age joke, because that was, on the tip of everybody's tongues at that time. So I put it together. I think that I recorded that. I didn't read from a script or anything like that, but I just said what I wanted to say like a couple times on the video, but I was like, oh, that didn't turn out very well, so I'm going to say it again. But basically everything that I said, it was like within the first like 5 tries, and then I was like, all right, that's good enough, and then I sent it away.
And you submitted
just
pretty
so
early, right? You submitted
yeah,
pretty early.
I think that I was like, I don't know, like the 7th or 8th submission, if I had to guess, but I don't know.
Who's counting, right?
It was right around the same time that you submitted, and you were super early as well. But yeah.
Seth, people often say that you are very, very often pictured in a car shooting your videos. Now, do you think this is a casual flex? Do you live in your car? Do you always carry yellow Gatorade in your car? Why are you always shooting from the car, man?
So one, with my car, it's a Tesla, and it's like faster than everyone else's cars, like around, like goes 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. So, stop hating. But I mean, I just do a lot of work in the city, and it don't really have anywhere quiet to be, and so my car is a great spot for me to video. So the haters can keep hating, but right now I'm at home, so it I'll beat the allegations. I'm in my spinny chair right now.
Just for reference, nobody said that except for me.
I know.
All right, so you submit your video, you're watching these videos roll in, you're watching a lot of people get a lot of publicity. Gumby throws this sick video, Goofy's video is getting a lot of likes. What are your feelings as you kind of see these videos rolling in and those 3 weeks are passing by and you're like, man, did you think, man, I wish I could have done better? What did you think?
Well, one, I was like, wow, there are some people that have a lot bigger followings than me. Like, this is kind of like, I feel like this might, mess up my chances quite a bit. And so on one of Pete's next videos, like, I actually made the comment, like, for us, like, new people, like, is it going to affect us? And it really seemed like Pete was like, no, just, put it out there. I want to see it, whether or not you've been in the game for the past 3 years, or whether or not, this is your first time being on camera. And so that gave me a lot of courage. I don't know. So that gave me quite a bit of confidence. And then just leading up to it, like we thought that it was going to be like the 24th that the applicants got announced. At least that's what I thought, but I was completely wrong. And then, you know, a couple of days later, like, oh, they're still editing the video, but it should be out. But it took a little while, but it was quite the shock to then watch the Pat video and like be so excited to be in it, and then not be in it at all. I was like, what the heck's going on, man?
But you did find out that Pat did watch your video. It just didn't make the final cut because I think Pete was like, it's over an hour. It's 130 minutes. It's an hour 30 minutes, and it's an hour 38. He couldn't really.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have been that hard to, you know, add a extra minute to it, but you know, that's all right. It ended up working out because I got snubbed. I got in with that grouping of 4 people, and it was like a landslide. So I'll take it.
Yeah, funny thing about that. So in Pat's Best Ball Breakfast, before like work started in earnest for me that day, I was, you know, chatting it up in the chat room, you know, doing my thing, as most people know what I do in the chat rooms. And I said, you know, I was doing some helpful comments as well. And I said, how will the wild cards be chosen? And right after that, I got called into a work assignment. Lou Dog, one of Pete's editors, drops in the comments, no pun intended, Rick. And I just had no idea what it meant because I was, you know, answering emails and doing things like that. And then later, after the fan vote, he was like, it's because Chosen was one of the contestants. So
that's funny.
Flew right over my head. But I appreciate a good pun where a good pun is given. And boy, Lou Dog, you got me on that one. So,
well, it might as well have been just the 4 applicants have been chosen because that's what it turned out to be. But
there you go. So the episode's going on. You're waiting for the 2 p.m. vote. I know the Tout House is going live. We're kind of talking about who are the applicants. I think Mitch had a guess on a couple of them, and I think he hit maybe 2 out of 4. So how are you feeling kind of leading up to the vote?
Well, so my name comes up, like I was saying, like number 3. So he had just gotten done with 2. Like, oh, these guys, you know, like one person can't even meet a deadline, and the other guy, I think I said in my response video, like, sounds like Ariel, like he's under the sea. That's a joke anyway. And then then I come up and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so real. And so I started texting the chat. I don't think I'd said anything in the chat prior, like, I love you guys, please vote for me, or whatever. And then I start seeing in the chat, like, oh, this is going to be a landslide. Oh, it's chosen. Oh, it's chosen. Like, dude, this is surreal. And then the last one isn't even a video. It's just, you know, some hate tweet or whatever. Like, well, this is going to be really good. And, you know, I'm like, oh, what should I do? And then I look at gifting a membership. Like, oh, it's $7. It's not the $5 or whatever. Like, all right, I'll do it. And so I was gonna do 5, but I was like, oh, it's $10 more than 25. So I gifted the 1, and it ended up being like one of the funniest parts of that whole run out. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, and it's a thumbnail on this video. So I thought that bit was great. People were coming at you for that. And I think it was really from the start, you shot up to like 70%, or actually, no, when you shot to 69%, I was like, nice, Chosen's got this. And obviously, I supported you. You know, the Tout House, I think, came out in full support of you. But to be honest, I think you had the best video. Not saying that your competition wasn't strong. I really did love Angry Dragon's video. But just coming in after the deadline, people can vote him in, but he's also fighting against a wave of, you know, rules are rules and they're meant to be followed. So I was going to put in the chat, hey, only one of these contestants can do a flag poll, but I felt like that wouldn't help your chances.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I probably, I don't think Basin or whatever his name is can do it, and I don't think the other 2 can. So
I think Bayesian could maybe do it, but he's a little bit older. He probably could have done it like 10 years ago when he met Matthew Berry. But so you get voted on, and I remember you texted us in the chat, like, I'm literally shaking. Like, describe that, like, wave of emotion.
Yeah, so I mean, like, there was such an adrenaline rush, right? Of like, oh my goodness, like my tournament life is at stake, and like then I get in and like just like overcome with joy and like excitement and just gratitude. And so it's almost unexplainable just how cool of an experience that was, but it was pretty neat.
And then I think at like an hour after that, you were like, "Is anybody there? Can I call them? I need to talk to somebody."
Yeah,
What
I
did you
wanted
want
to
to say
talk
to
to
somebody?
somebody. It didn't end up working out, but it was yeah. I
Yeah, it
ended
was,
up playing volleyball like 30 minutes later, so that worked out, and I
yeah,
gotta
you got the
get
energy
my
out of your
mind on something
system.
else.
So now
Yeah.
that you're in, I guess, what do you think in terms of how will the rest of the contestants be chosen? What timeline do you think we're looking at? Anything from that perspective now that you know you're in?
Well, I think that Pete had such a good turnout the last time he did kind of a fan votey thing, that I think that he might try that one or two more times before he like makes the picks that he wants to make. Um, and I think that he might do a couple fun things here and there. But I don't know. I still haven't gotten an email myself on like whether or not. I mean, not whether or not, but just like on more details about what's going on with the tournament. But
Did you check your spam
um,
folder?
I do I've like I've checked my email a lot,
Deep
and
in
my
the
spam
spam
folder
streets.
my spam folder has been checked quite a bit. But
So you seem to think that we're not going to get kicked off until about maybe the second half of May. And obviously there's a lot of editing to do. There's a lot of prep. You got to, prepare the challenges before you start. So is that kind of the common sentiment amongst you and people you've talked to?
yeah, I mean, I, I think one with Pete not thinking it was going to be as big as it was, that you're right. Like there might be some idea of the challenges maybe getting revamped or some other things, or the way that he wants to structure the tournament, and it to go maybe a little bit longer, there to be less people lost throughout each round. I'm not sure exactly the way that he wants to run it. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with just how long it took for the Pat Mayo video to like really get out there, that it might be a little bit before like everything gets off the ground and then it starts, but we'll see.
That makes a lot of sense. So with that, why don't we jump into a DraftKings draft that I've got loaded up here? And Pete did say the applicant pool is going to shrink from 135 to 25.
Yep.
So because we have that magic number 25, do you want to do a millie?
Hey, let's do it. That
All
would be
right.
fun.
Let's do it.
Do I get 5% if we win? What's my
you get a full equity split, half and half, if we win for being the first
really?
applicant. How about
Okay.
that? Last
There we
time
go.
you guys did it for free, and I said, dude, if I bank, I mean, Max is getting his college tuition paid for. You're getting something. But yeah, if we bank, you're getting 50-50 on this one.
Let's go.
Come on, DraftKings, don't do me dirty.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't ask about the money till I was famous,
Yeah, obviously.
but now it's
famous.
like I'm a paid host. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna go here. We're gonna look at that. And are we having technical difficulties? But yeah, so it's going to be 25 people. He narrows it down to. So you have one spot. The rest of us have about a little less than 1 in 5 odds of getting in. Then
I mean, I wouldn't say 1 in 5. There are some people that I would just, I would say for the most part, all the people featured in the Pat Mayo video, you're competing against them, and then maybe like 10 or 20 more that didn't make the Pat Mayo video. So I would say it's about 50-50, but I don't know.
Yeah. So I was able to enter a draft. Also, Stefan Diggs has been cleared of all battery charges. So he's going to move up in ADP. And I think if he signs with the Ravens or the Chiefs, like he was kind of flirting with them, boy, he might move back up to that pre-draft ADP when he was still on the Patriots.
Yeah. That would be scary for me, although I'm sure that it'll happen. I've been kind of clicking all the guys. I mean, so I've been kind of fading Diggs and I've been kind of fading Debo, but all the other old guys, I've been clicking a decent bit. But I think all of them will get signed somewhere, so I'm not super worried. I wasn't super duper impressed with what Diggs did last year, and then him not getting re-signed by the Patriots, and can going and getting Dobbs instead of him. Like, I think Diggs would have just been in their mind. If Diggs isn't even a better receiver than Dobbs, then I'm pretty out on Diggs. But I don't know.
Yeah. So the official tweet or the notification from Sleeper says Stephon Diggs has been found not guilty on charges of assault, battery, and strangulation of his former chef. Still got a couple baby mamas out there asking for money, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Stephon Diggs is back on the menu. And my initial guess is just on this news. I think he's around 165. We can actually check that right now on DraftKings. Stephon Diggs, 165. What do you know? Would be pretty good at Best Ball Jeopardy. And I think he probably moves up to, if you sort by ADP, these are ranks that I have in here. I would say maybe around, I mean, I think he easily clears Brandon Ayuk and Juwan Jennings. He had better peripherals than those guys. Clears Tyreek Hill, Omar Cooper.
Probably Jaden Higgins and McMillan area, Coker, Shakir. I don't think that he goes above Worthy. I think Worthy's a better click every day.
You like Xavier Worthy? You want to talk about that a little bit?
I mean, he's just the wide receiver 2 on the Chiefs that has upside to score 3 touchdowns in a week. Do I think he's a particularly good receiver? No, but he was hurt like last year, a lot more than people thought. So I actually don't mind Worthy at all this year.
And if Stephon Diggs does go to the Chiefs, how do you feel about Worthy then?
I think Worthy is just a completely different bet. I think Worthy is their speed guy, and Diggs isn't going to be competing with Worthy on that at all. He might take a few targets, but just the type of targets that Worthy's going to be in and the type of sets that he's going to be in, I don't think Diggs really threatens him at all.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think they play different positions, but I think Worthy might lose some of those, gimme targets, the ones where they're just layups around the line of scrimmage, because Stephon Diggs is primarily a slot player, and that's what he played in New England. That's what he played in Houston the last 2 years. So I think Worthy becomes a little bit more boom bust, and I almost want to say Worthy and Diggs probably just swap ADPs, and then Travis Kelce probably takes a hit from this too. So we're coming up in one pick here. Who do you like at the 7th spot?
Jettas. I like any of the receivers here. I probably like Jettas the most. I'm not a big Taylor fan, but
I don't mind Jonathan Taylor. I just tend to like builds where you start with one of those top 6 wide receivers. I think Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and CD just fit better on DraftKings as a full PPR website.
So I truly don't get the JJ price point. I think that Kyler Murray is just as good of a passer as Sam Darnold. And I think they have just as good of a O-line and probably a better offensive mind on offense. I don't understand why Justin Jefferson is going behind JSN, and I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm pretty high on Justin Jefferson this year.
Wow, that's saying something as a Seahawks fan. But we tend to be down on our teams. That being said, I'm pretty bullish on the Broncos this year. I'm just going to be a pretty irrational Broncos laundry bro this year.
Yeah, I mean, and that's completely fine. I like JSN plenty. I think that he has like almost no target competition. I think that he's going to get an insane target share this year. I just think that JJ is a significantly better wide receiver all in all. But
Yeah, I mean, I think if you had to think of the best receivers in the league, the names that come to my mind are Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, and Jamar Chase, and I would kind of bunch those three in the same tier.
I think it's actually just Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, and then I think Puka is in a tier kind of as the zone. And then I think that JSN, Amon Ra, and CD are all kind of right after that.
All right, we're up in one pick. Looks like running backs kind of got cleared off the draft board. I liked Barkley at that spot if we compare him with Jettas. Who do you like here at 18?
Wow, Hampton really is a lot lower on here. Are we searching by ADP currently?
Yep.
Okay. I don't mind Walker. I don't mind London with it being a PPR. Is Bowers already gone?
Yeah, I think Bowers went around the turn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it would probably be in between Walker or London. For structural reasons, Walker isn't terrible, but I think that locking up another wide receiver in full PPR is just super good. So
let's do it. So moving back, switching gears a little bit, what do you think will be the first challenge in So You Think You Can Tout?
I don't know. I actually have no idea. I really hope that it's a lot more exciting than writing an article, though. I think that would be a major fail if he has us write an article at the very beginning. I think that it's going to have to be something super exciting and something that's easy enough to get as many POVs from as possible, to get snippets from every 25 of the applicants. I think it's going to have to be kind of short and sweet, or something that isn't going to need a whole lot of explaining or talking about, because if it's going to take another hour and 30 minutes to make a video, I don't know, maybe that's what they're going to want to do. But I think that it's going to, maybe it's going to be another hour and 30-minute video.
Well, an hour and 38 minutes was 55 reviews. Some of them didn't even get watched the whole way through. Sure. So my take is that nobody wants to read 25 500-word submission articles.
No.
I think if we got something, it might be like if it was any writing, I think it'd be a short paragraph on probably not even like a player take. Like maybe, one thing Pete said that I kind of harp on is, why do you want to win this contest? And a lot of people in their submission videos kind of nuked themselves and just said, I want the site credits. I play a lot of best ball. And so you're going to have to pivot off that pretty hard if you did that as your submission video and you happen to get in.
For sure. Unless you're Goofy Chicken, I don't really actually mind the way that he did it. I thought it was really funny, which basically was what he said. But, boy, are we going to go 3 wide receiver right off the bat? I think Nico is just a smash compared to everyone else at ADP here.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with going a little piss boy action here. Taking a look at the board, it'll kind of dry up the wide receivers here because they're going to tend towards wide receiver in these picks. We might get a that faller when it comes back to us.
Yeah, I think that the running back values are quite a bit better in that round 4 range than the wide receiver values. I think there are a lot of guys that could be really good, like your Lads or your. I really like Garrett Wilson quite a bit. I think he's a great pick at that price point, but I just don't think he would fit very well on our team. But
yeah, and Nico was a value too, ADP at 26, going to 31, and we have some late quarterback stacking options, so we don't necessarily need to force it in that quarterback window. Though honestly, I kind of like grabbing a quarterback in that round 6, 7 window, 6, 7, 8 window.
Yeah, I mean, and there are with some of those quarterbacks, like if we were to go, so I kind of want to talk about this a little bit. So when I went on Best Ball Breakfast, one of the things that I said was that I just hated Quentin Johnston And then Pete, of course, he had to ask me why I didn't like Quentin Johnston. I was just super unprepared. Part of the thing about what I was talking about with Quentin Johnston is I was still looking through quite a bit of a redraft perspective because from that lens, I'm just paying so much more attention to my teams from redraft, although I was doing a lot of best ball teams. And just looking at him on redraft, I think he's a terrible pick. I think Quentin Johnston's one of the worst ones on the board. You just never know when he's going to smash. He has no like reasonable floor. But as a best ball pick, I think actually I'm going to have to eat my words. I think that he's a really, really, really good best ball pick. And so if I had to do anything over on Best Ball Breakfast, it probably would be to not say that I hated Quentin Johnston. But getting back to my point, I think that it's still okay to grab a quarterback that's unstacked and then just stack them later, like with a Quentin Johnston or something like that. And obviously, you kind of want to stack them with your number one wide receivers, but backstacking.
I love Justin Herbert backstacks. I think that offense is going to be spread out. Really quick, Brees Hall.
Okay, we get Brees here. Let's go, Brees. I love Brees here.
Can I get a value hound a woo out of you, Seth?
Oh, does that work? I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree. Backstacking quarterbacks is valid depending on builds. I made a Twitter post maybe like a month ago talking about some of the gross stacks that I like, and the Chargers led that charge, pun intended.
Yeah.
So going back
the Chargers
to some of
are just super solid on that one. No, go ahead.
Yeah, going back to some of the challenges that you think will happen. I mean, this is an entertainment-based contest. I think it's also based on. I won't give away everything that I think here because I want to be a contestant, but I think it's also based on growing the audience a little bit. We already know that the best ball sphere is obsessed with this and going to watch a lot of content around this. But how do we get redraft people interested? How do we get a more global audience interested? How do we get a YouTube TV contract? And I think part of that is being really funny, but I think part of that is being able to speak to a large audience. And so I think the first challenge, there's obviously going to be some palate cleansers per se that you want to move on. But I think the first challenge he really wants to elicit, all right, who really wants to be here? Who's really going to be the partner that Pete has on stream versus who's just here to boost their own brand, to get some more followers, to get some more subs or membies to their YouTube page. So I think there's a lot of that out there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely would be pretty easy to see people wanting to do that, oh, I've already got quite a bit of the following. This is just the next way to boost it up. Whereas I think you don't necessarily run into that as much with someone like me or someone like you that hasn't really been in the scene streaming or trying to garner the followers the same until now. I think it's a lot easier to be in it for more of the right reasons, having not really done anything in comparison to.
Got it. So we're looking at a couple options here. I would have loved Terry to try to stack Jaden Daniels on the turn, but another.
How come Henderson is so much lower on here than Henderson, I feel, or Montgomery are both great picks.
Do you want to stack Montgomery with Nico Collins?
Yeah, let's do Demont.
Okay, I'm gonna go Demont here. I think that's my first share of Demont across draft and regular best ball.
Really?
I think he is the face of the dead zone running back this year. We're talking about projected volume on a bad offensive line. Granted, they have a great defense, but once again, why are we talking about a great defense for offensive production other than the fact that they'll have the ball? In fact, I think a great defense will make them more conservative and have more 2 yards, 3 yards, and a cloud of dust type of runs, which we don't care. They're okay winning lower scoring games. We want touchdowns and we want receptions from our running backs, especially on DraftKings. So that argument to me is just fugazi for why you like Demont. But here, you get him at ADP. You stack with Nico Collins, perfectly cromulent. But man, our running back room is pretty gross right now. We're gonna have to.
I don't think it's gross at all. I think that Brees Hall is like a sneaky good guy to get back into the second round next year. And then I think David Montgomery has 1, 2, 3 more years left in the tank to like be very, very solid as a running back in the National Football League.
The one hole that I do poke in David Montgomery from like the perspective of people saying, "Oh, he's going to be so good," is they say he's going to be a pass catcher. Well, they love Woody Marks. They gave him more run than people like to think. People like to shit on Woody Marks, but he had some good run last year, and he's a pass catching back, if anything. So, anyway, we're coming up here. Do we click Judkins at this point?
Yeah, I mean, if Judkins is there, I think Judkins is a smash. I'm a little bit worried about him and his injury and just his health. But Judkins, he showed quite a bit in his rookie year without having practiced at all. So if you want to go Judkins, Warren is good here. Tootin, if you would prefer Tootin, I don't mind. All those guys are good. I'm surprised that Jaden Daniels is less expensive than Drake May on here.
Jaden Daniels is going to go to this guy or this guy, whoever took Terry in front of us. But yeah, it's interesting because on DraftKings you can get those 300-yard passing bonuses, and we think Drake May is going to play a tougher schedule of opponents, need to pass more. I think there's just some ick on Drake May because the A.J. Brown to New England news isn't as fresh as it was 2 weeks ago. So they're kind of looking at, who do I stack him with, Romeo Doubs?
No, I mean, I think Drake May is a super solid pick. I just don't understand why Jaden Daniels is lower than him on ADP.
I think it's because DraftKings is a wonderful, wonderful place to draft.
Yeah, I mean, that I wish I could draft on DraftKings. I mean, this is crazy that Jaden Daniels is falling to pick what 70 something,
67.
67.
But yeah, see the Terry guy took
Yeah, I mean,
stacked.
I think that's I mean, I'm not a big fan of Terry, but I think that his team is. I mean, getting Derrick Henry in the third, I feel, is super strong.
Pretty sure MSOS is a sharp guy. He's probably pretty pissed that he missed the Drake May to A.J. Brown stack. And, yeah, he's going to continue stacking quote-unquote Patriots with Ramondre there.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's super funny. I know MSOS. He just got back from having, like, no drafting at all until, like, 4 days ago. And so it was pretty funny to hear him. And he hadn't looked at basically anything that had happened in the NFL for the past like 4 months. And so he didn't know about the DJ Moore trade. He didn't know that Travis Etienne was traded like 4 days ago. And so he's just been catching up, but he's a pretty fun guy.
What a world. Imagine just being able to not think about football for that long.
Dude, I couldn't do it.
So we're coming back up on the clock. Best available by ADP is Hurts, Brian Thomas Jr., RJ Harvey, Makai Lemon. Who do you like here?
So I don't mind Hurts, and we could backstack him if you want to go Hurts here. Like we could possibly get Makai. Oh, you're not very high on Makai Lemon, are you?
Not right now. I think I'll move up on him if AJ Brown is traded, but. Yeah, let's go Hurts here. I think it's fine taking Hurts naked. Almost 10 picks past ADP.
Yeah, Pat Kerrane just said that he thought there was like a 98% chance that AJ Brown gets traded. And so I'm not sure.
I think Pat Kerrane is right, but whenever it comes to whatever Pat Kerrane says about Drake May, just understand that he's extremely biased because Drake May is his favorite player.
That's true, but I mean, he's not talking about Drake May. But yeah, I mean, there's an idea certainly that because it's the New England Patriots, that whatever. But I mean, I would. What stream did he say that on? I don't know. I think that Makai Lemon is a very, very solid pick and definitely should be. Oh, well, I mean, he's gone, so never mind. He's the worst pick on the board.
Yeah, terrible pick, man. I had him ranked at
worst
110.
Pick
terrible
ever.
pick. Might
I've never
be the
heard
worst pick ever.
I've never seen. You got the wide receiver 3 on the Philadelphia Eagles. Do you know how many? Who was the wide receiver 3 last year? Tell me, Rick.
Oh man, Johnny Wilson,
I don't even know who the heck that
Darius
is.
Cooper,
I have
Johnny
no
Wilson,
idea. How many fantasy points did
FSU
he get last
touchdown
year?
hog, Darius Cooper. I don't even know where Darius Cooper went to school, but Johnny Wilson,
I've
they
never
like.
heard of these guys in my life.
Yeah, I
Terrible.
mean, the thing is, Jalen Hurts can't throw over the middle. Jalen Hurts can't throw over the middle. I tend to think the Eagles know that too. And with the new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion, I think if his opponents think he can't throw over the middle and they play a lot of middle field open coverage, I think they're going to say, Hurts, throw the damn ball over the middle.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. If they do trade AJ Brown, it'll be interesting to see, particularly what way they use Smith. If he keeps on staying in the role that he's in, or if he takes over more of that X receiver, it'll be interesting.
So we're coming back on the clock here. It looks like quarterbacks are falling. Our team right now looks like Jalen Hurts, Breece Hall, David Montgomery, Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Nico Collins, Quinshawn Judkins in the flex. And we're looking down the barrel of Trevor Lawrence, Jackson Dart, Sam Laporta, Jalen Warren, Kyle Pitts. Who do you like?
I mean, we talked about Herbert earlier. I'm not the biggest Sam Laporta fan, but I feel like it's possible that he could bury you. If you want to go Herbert, if you want to go Laporta, if you want to go Pitts, even I don't mind.
3 seconds.
Yeah, let's go Herbert.
We're back stacking Herbert.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly add QJ to the
QJ and Gadsden.
Yeah.
And then we should also probably get Goddard as well.
And watch like Keenan Allen just go back to the Chargers and just like kill all
these
Chargers
no.
backs.
Please no. Oh boy.
So we're probably good at quarterback unless we want to tack on like a falling, CJ Stroud for our Montgomery, Nico, Houston stack, or maybe even a Michael Penix at the end for Drake London, late season upside. Reports said he's probably not going to be ready for the start of camp, so I think Tua's going to run away with that position early. And Tua would probably be better in a dome than he would be in Miami without Tyreek Hill. So
can you tell me the last time a QB that wasn't very good, that had a QB that was relatively similar to him but younger, on his heels, played an entire season? Do you kind of understand my question?
Yeah. I'm gonna say like maybe early 2000s.
Yeah, I can't think of a time, and so I think that it would actually be like detrimental to Tua's season if he were to start. Like, I don't think that there's a chance that he's playing in the finals, unless just Penix really sucked when he got his turn. Unless Tua is just phenomenal all the way through, which I don't necessarily see happening. But
all right, we are back on the clock. We're looking at Kyle Pitts as the 10 pick ADP value.
Yeah, I mean, Pitts, if we're already thinking about it, I don't mind him at all. Corum is good. But yeah, if we go Pitts is a great value there, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's possible Corum falls back to us. We're seeing some running back fallers here, Enrico. And then we're seeing quarterbacks go after ADP on the right side of the board when you're not playing with Nate 30, who stacked his Dak Prescott, took our QJ from us. Don't you know QJ's the worst pick on the board, man?
Yeah, dude, terrible.
Terrible pick, QJ. Terrible pick, Mekhi Lemon, who's going to get absolutely shoved in the locker by Dontavian Wicks. And none of them are going to get targets because they're going to be the backside read for Jalen Hurts, who's never getting to his third read on the backside.
Never, ever. He just, I've never seen it in my life.
If we got those guys on our team, they'd be great picks. That's just how it works.
Dude, we would have been the most galaxy-brained people on the planet. Let me tell you right there.
So we're seeing the quarterback run happen here. They kind of got sprinkled here. We caught a falling value with Hurts. Wow, Mahomes and Stafford. I think we got some good quarterback value here because Hurts fell 10 picks. Everybody else is kind of going before or around ADP. Kyler Murray, Malik Willis goes fully unstacked on the turn to sliced bread.
And
Yeah, I think we're doing pretty good here.
yeah. I mean, these streets are ripe. Man, I wish I could draft here.
I love DraftKings, man. DraftKings is the gift that keeps on giving. So looking at our draft capital here, obviously I'm using the Spike Week Draft Hacker. Go get it, folks. It's the best. It's the cheapest. People are talking about all these new overlays and charging you more for getting less. Sure, they look cool and they're made by AI, but what's going to happen when support is needed? So, little ahead of Gadsden here, and we have Goddard as a fallback.
Do you like Dobbins?
No, because of Coleman.
Really?
But I think we could click Dobbins here. Do you like Dobbins?
So I actually really like Dobbins here. I think that he's super solid. I don't think Coleman is beating him out. I think Dobbins has to get hurt for Coleman to take his work. I think it's easier for him to take Harvey's than for Dobbin.
I think an interesting strategy is to just fade RJ Harvey, take Dobbins here, take Coleman a little bit later, and say if Dobbin goes down, Coleman's going to be the success rate guy that fills that role, and RJ Harvey still probably stays in that, gadgety Marvin Mims type role.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like it for teams that we haven't spent as much on RB, but I really do not mind handcuffing some of these guys where we're just not sure about the backfield, like the Washington backfield, the Minnesota backfield.
We are looking at a 2-4-3-1 here, so I think we're in a range where we're going to be looking at wide receiver again. Wan'Dale Robinson is always intriguing to me. I do think Cam Ward's going to take a step forward, especially with a nice low A-dot slot player. But wide receiver really dries up here. I mean, they're flying off the board. Jalen Coker's our best available. I almost think we punt wide receiver until we get down to the McMillans, Omar Coopers. I mean, we have that news on Stephon Diggs in our back pocket. He's still there. So I think we punt wide receiver at this point, and we keep on adding to other positions.
I mean, we got three of the best wide receivers in the league, and we got them all at values besides JJ. I think that we can just keep on pushing, get our stacks together, and keep moving forward.
So the thing that I do think is a little bit ugly, but not the worst, is we have an unstacked Hurts and an unstacked Herbert. So I think, and we're going to continue to have an unstacked Herbert as Arondé Gadsden goes off.
We'll get Goddard though, probably.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get Goddard. And then I think we're looking later at Trey Harris to stack with Herbert, because I think Trey Harris is the best Chargers value on the board. If you're going to draft,
we could go Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell could be the stack that we go with.
I think you pronounce his name wrong, Seth. Try again.
Keaton Mitchell?
There you go. There you go.
My bad.
2026 is CJ2K.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's go Goddard. Yeah.
This draft is flying by. So, yeah, we are at a 2-4-3-2. We decided to punt wide receiver a little bit after our top three picks were wide receiver. We have on our team Jalen Hurts stacked with Dallas Goedert, Justin Herbert unstacked, Drake London stacked with Kyle Pitts, David Montgomery stacked with Nico Collins, Justin Jefferson, and Breece Hall. So we got a couple team stacks and J.K. Dobbins and Quinshon Judkins. So we got a couple team stacks without the quarterback in Atlanta and Houston. We got Jalen Hurts with his tight end. Hopefully Goddard runs hot on touchdowns again. I don't love it with Mekhi Lemon there, but honestly, they got to play somebody at tight end, and I guess Stowers is there. But whatever, we got a stack.
Something I'm not sure what you think about this, but I think if we want to go one more QB late, I think Sacrilegious has like 50% Penix. So if we go Penix, I don't mind.
So basically, Sack is telling us to put Penix in.
Probably.
So if we go full Sack and we put Penix in, we'll get like an A+ from the sidekick.
Probably, yeah. I think it's like a guaranteed.
I think Levitan would give me a 9.5 on that sex joke.
Oh, I didn't even get it. Oh boy.
That's okay. That's
Oh,
okay.
boy.
We all can't be, just childish, perverted minds. So coming up on pick 138, CJ Stroud is here. I think we push CJ Stroud because we have that Penix backdoor.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go Stroud at ADP. I think I would. I mean, we would actually have to reach on him a little bit, I think, compared to the other
Who do
picks
you
we have.
like here? One interesting thought I
Mason,
do have is, do you want to pull Diggs up here?
could we try and push him maybe one more and get Jordan Mason here and then be done at running back?
Yeah, you like Jordan
Or
Mason?
actually, I mean, maybe Keaton Missile. How far away is Keaton Missile?
He's in the 160s over here. I'm
Okay,
sure.
yeah, I mean, if you want to pull up Diggs, let's do Diggs.
Pull up Diggs. Because I think this room is sharp. You got MSOS over here on the turn. And I think you got a Drake May unstacked that might go for Diggs here. You hear that in the background? That's the cat saying, I want to get in and draft with you guys. Sorry, buddy. I'll give you some treats after I'm done. His mother is working late today, so I got cat duty. He had enough fun earlier, though, so we're good.
I mean, I can't even hear him, so
Good.
must not be
The
that
background noise
ferocious.
cancellation is working.
Yeah.
All right. We have gotten our fourth receiver. We're on a 2-4-4-2. We pulled up Stephon Diggs about 2 rounds on the assault charge news. I am perfectly fine with that. We can kind of go any direction here. We're looking at a falling CJ Stroud, Kenyon Sadiq, Omar Cooper Jr., Woody Marks, Tyreek Hill, Brenton Strange. But at this point, I kind of throw ADP out the window.
For sure. Yeah, the person I think I would be the most upset about losing would probably be Keaton Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you want to go Mitchell.
I don't mind starting to get our back stacks here. So I think I could put Mitchell in the queue. I think I want to stick Trey Harris in the queue. And yeah, I think if you want to take a CJ Stroud without Nico Collins, be my guest. Have fun.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think we just keep on pushing him. Keaton Mitchell or maybe tight end would be maybe my only other thing, but I think that there are other tight ends to get later. So
with Goddard and Kyle Pitts, we're betting on them. I don't think we want to draft scared, especially in the Millie. So I'm going to go with Keaton Mitchell here. Finally, we got.
I forgot that we got Goddard. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't need another tight end at least for a long time.
And then I'm tempted to say, if Stroud does drop to the 14th round in the 160s, we probably have to take him there.
Yeah, I mean, that would, I think, it's too much value. If he does anything close to what he did his rookie year, Stroud is going to be plenty fine of a pick this year. He's just so hard without having a stack or a good stack. Like, are you really that encouraged? All right, I mean, he goes. Who does he go to? Can we look? Can we make fun of him?
I would love to look. CJ Stroud stacked with
absolutely freaking nobody. This guy sucks. What's his name? Let's take a look here.
His name is Hortner Q.
Hortner?
He went James Cook, Brock Bowers, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is stacked with Alex Pierce. Okay, Matthew Stafford is stacked with Devontae Adams. And just takes a falling CJ Stroud for value, 154.
This guy. I mean, so we'll see. It's possible he's a very intelligent backstacker and takes Tank Dell. The jury is still out.
The jury is still out. You could go Tank Dell.
It's possible. Mm-hmm. I really like Tyreek Hill a lot, but he goes, so never mind. What a terrible pick. Oh my goodness. Tyreek Hill. Do you
want to go full slot model and go Travis Hunter, or should we take Trey Harris here for the stack value?
I mean, we can keep pushing Trey Harris. No one else is going to be taking Trey Harris. If you want to go Travis Hunter.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
What?
You want to go Travis Hunter?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I think he's the highest upside pick here. I mean, Denzel Boston, Brown, Jerry Jeudy, Brown, Debo Samuel, Dusty, Calvin Ridley, Dusty. Yeah, we're going Travis Hunter here. I think we're just shooting for upside now. I mean, I would even consider Deshaun Stribling. He's at 184 on DraftKings. I think he's moved up into the 160s on Underdog.
Yeah, Stribling is interesting. I actually made this comment the other day in the Slappy Central Discord. It was like, if Stribling would have gone in the third round instead of the second round, would we like him more? You know, the because he went in the second round and everyone was like had no idea who this guy was. Now we have it in our brain that this is just the 49ers being the 49ers again, and they're just reaching on ADP. We have, I mean, not ADP, but just like in the draft, we have no idea how good this guy's going to be. But how about we just like step back for a second and understand that the 49ers are like not a poverty franchise and that they might know what they're doing. And I think that this is hard because just like the mind of a drafter wants to be proud and like think that they're better than everyone. And if they were a GM, that they would be doing the best job. I just think that the 49ers know what they're doing. And so I'm not against Stribling at all.
I think you raised some good points there. I think that we also, I mean, Stribling was almost a first-round pick, but we also want to take a grain of salt and realize that I know it's rookie minicamp, but this was one of the worst rookie draft classes for skill positions. Now that we're seeing them in rookie minicamp or hype, we see their draft capital. You know, JJ Zacharyson literally launched a pod earlier this season that said draft capital doesn't really matter that much. And I think right outside the first round, it does. But Deshaun Stribling goes off the board in any case. So I think we're okay to not take him. What do you like here? You know, I'm going to be okay with Trey Harris here just to lock up that Herbert stack. If we look at wide receivers, we're starting to get a little dusty on the upside. Trey Harris, Ryan Flournoy are some of my favorites. Tight ends are falling values here. Brenton Strange is almost 30 picks after ADP. We could close it up with him. We could go Eli Stowers. What do you think?
I think we keep on pushing tight end unless you want to go Okonkwo. I think that he has the opportunity to be like the second target on the Washington offense, which I kind of want to be a little high on. But if we don't want to go there, I think we just go Trey Harris and you know keep on moving.
Let's lock up the stack. I'm pretty concerned about Justin Herbert having pieces. I think he's going to be fine on his own as the quarterback of a breakout offense projected by many. But where you get that upside, especially in those tournament weeks, 15, 16, and 17, is by having a lesser-owned stack of your quarterback go off. And then having that player with like a Justin Jefferson who also goes off, or a Drake London or a Nico Collins who goes off.
For sure. And I mean, you've seen Justin Herbert, you know, rush plenty. Like he's one of those guys where I wouldn't feel as excited about it, but he could get there on his own. Like that's completely possible. Whereas you can't say that about, I wouldn't say that about Trevor Lawrence, or a lot of the other guys in that area.
Absolutely. So we are looking down the barrel of a 2-5-6-2 here. By draft capital, we're pretty balanced across the spectrum. We could up our running back draft capital a little bit, but you're not really going to do it at pick 186. So it's kind of pick who you like at this point. You know, pick some of the guys that are your sleepers, your deep sleepers. So
I like Claiborne, and I like Katron Allen and Emmett Johnson. Actually, if we can, Emmett Johnson is probably like my favorite of all of those guys. They're calling him E-Money, bro. if that's not bullish, if that's not our Bayshal Tootin of last year, I don't know what it is. Like what a guy, E-Money.
E-Money. I think he has an inside track to that pass catching role. And I do think we're missing Brashard Smith a little bit, but with Emmett Johnson on the field, you get a little bit more versatility. You get a heavier back. Should we go Emmett Johnson here, especially with that divisional stack with the Chargers?
Yeah, let's go Emmett Johnson. That would be fun.
Got Emmett
And then we'll
Johnson.
be done at running back, I think.
Okay. And that is 6 running backs for us. So I think we're hitting wide receiver, and I'll put Michael Penix in here. I mean, he's going late. He might not even be drafted with the recent reports that he's not going to start the season. Then again, it is DraftKings. You never really know.
Yeah, I mean, you could just have someone that really just likes to stick it in, but we'll see.
That's what she said. I think that should be the tagline for DraftKings. Like, you never really know. So, do you like Ryan Flournoy?
So I've been like, if you just kind of look at some of the stuff that he did last year, like he's kind of a sleeper pick. I think that people liked him more with the kind of contract disputes with George Pickens, and now that that's kind of gone, I think that he's still kind of riding on the coattails of that. But I don't mind Flournoy at all.
Yeah, and I think just because Pickens signed his franchise tender, he's still going to take games off if he's hurt because he wants the long-term contract. So what really changed with George Pickens? His season holdout risk changed.
Oh, Flournoy
That
goes.
risk was only minimal, maybe 5 to 10% at the most. Flournoy goes. I have Dontavian Wicks queued up here as a Jalen Hurts backstack, but I will let you pick your favorite wide receiver at end here.
I think Tank Dell is actually a pretty strong pick. I was being truthful when I said I don't think that the Eagles really use their wide receiver 3 very much. Pat Bryant is actually a pretty fun pick if you like Pat Bryant.
Yep, say no more. We're doing it.
Okay, we'll get our 2 Broncos.
I mean, I see a Bronco, you say a Bronco, we click Bronco.
So could you maybe talk a little bit about and educate me on your understanding of Troy Franklin compared to Pat?
So Troy Franklin had the inside track because he wasn't a rookie last year, and they gave him all the opportunity, but he wasn't particularly efficient. And by the end of the season in the playoffs, even with Pat Bryant injured, they continued to try to play him.
They threw to him 3 times in a row.
Yeah, at the start of that game before he got hurt. And
yep.
If you know anything about Sean Payton, he loves his wide receivers to block in that outside zone scheme. And so Pat Bryant is an excellent, excellent blocker. He's going to be active on game days. And when Bo Nix scrambles or it's an RPO type of play, he's going to be a read. And chances are Bo Nix is going to scramble to that side because Pat Bryant's blocking on that side. And he's a good blocker. That's a little bit of Galbrain in that last part, but he's going to be on the field. And at this, this range, we're looking for guys who are going to be on the field. I think Zach said something that really goes underrated, and I want to say it again. Getting 2 fantasy points a game is so much better than getting 0 because think about it, common sense-wise, to get fantasy points, you need to 1, be on the field, and 2, get targeted. And then you can fall ass backwards into a touchdown.
For sure.
All right, so looking at the wide receivers here, it is Gross. Dontavian Wicks is second by ADP next to Adonai Mitchell. Tight ends, we got Pat Freiermuth. I think Michael Penix.
Freiermuth is pretty solid. I don't mind Freiermuth at all.
We'll go Freiermuth to lock up our third tight end here. It looks like because Penix went, we are going 2 QB.
Yeah, I mean, that's completely fine. I mean, if you really wanted to go Deshaun Watson, I think that he's also kind of a fun pick. But, I mean, it's kind of like that same thing. Like, if Watson starts the season, I think that that's really bad for his, ending the season ability. Like, he has so many outs to just getting benched and Shedeur just playing because he's younger.
If we're going to take a quarterback that has end-of-season benching risk, I strongly prefer Tua and Kirk Cousins. And I'm a Shedeur guy. I'm not like a Shedeur stan. I just think my premise is if Shedeur doesn't start games this season, there will be riots in Cleveland.
Probably. Unless Watson is crazy. If Watson's crazy, then I don't think they'll mind.
If
But
Watson's crazy good, I mean, a lot of people will have egg on their face this season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I have a decent amount of Watson though. I mean, he was good at one point. It would be interesting if he had that Russell Wilson fall off, but I mean, it sure looked like it. But.
Well, let me do you a favor, Chosen. You're not going to have Watson on this team.
Okay, yeah, that's no problem.
I don't think Watson. If Watson starts over Jalen Hurts or Justin Herbert in any given week, we have a major problem. We're probably in last place.
Or we're brilliant because we took Watson.
You know, it's easy to take Deshaun Watson on site credits.
But we're not on site credits, at least not yet. I mean, that's the reason you joined the tournament, right? It's just for the money.
All I want is those site credits. No, low key. One thing I did shout out to Goofy Chicken was like, dude, I'm so confident you're going to get into round one. I will personally send you $1,000 if you don't get into round one. All right, Dontavian Wicks goes off the board. Let's take a quick.
He's doing everything he can to tank his stock into getting into round one to secure the bag.
And then Pete Overton just reposted him. But honestly, like, yeah, site credits are really cool and be fun. I'm not there for the site credits. I don't need the money. I'm doing this for the competition, for the fun, and to grow the game. All right, we are up. It is gross on the DK streets right here. I'm going to show you best by ADP. Ted Hurst?
Yeah, Ted Hurst. Yes, let's go Ted Hurst. I didn't realize that he was still here. What a pick. Dude,
nobody ever
is realizes. The Puka Nacua of our year. And you get him for free. So
you just dropped a reference of Puka, huh?
Yeah, Ted Hurst is, if anyone's going to be a Puka for our year, it's going to be Ted.
Yeah, there must not be too many sidekick drafters in this draft because Ted Hurst never falls to round 19 in DraftKings with a sidekick.
Yeah. Yeah, Ted is a solid pick.
To recap.
Brendan Thompson, is he still available?
Who? Brendan Thompson? Probably.
Yeah.
We have a 2-6-8-3. Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Nico Collins, Breece Hall, David Montgomery, Quinshon Judkins, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Kyle Pitts, J.K. Dobbins, Dallas Goedert, Stephon Diggs, Keaton Mitchell, Travis Hunter, Trey Harris, Emmett Johnson, Pat Bryant, Pat Freiermuth, and Ted Hurst. And with our last pick, we're going to take a straight 0 in Brendan Thompson. But if he hits,
he could be electric, bro.
So looking at the running backs here, that's the only other position I consider. It is.
Did you see the clip of McDaniels?
No, what
just
happened?
Like jumping for joy when they drafted Brendan Thompson.
That dude's gonna run so many wind sprints and catch like one ball. It's gonna be like a 1 for 60 and 1 stat line. Only other guy I would like here is Jordan James, but I think we're good at running back with the fallers. And I do want the low-owned Justin Herbert stack. So to recap our team, we have Jalen Hurts, 10 picks after ADP, stacked with Dallas Goedert. We have the very back-stacked Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert, Keaton Mitchell, Trey Harris, Brendan Thompson, the all-speed Chargers backstack. We have Drake London with Kyle Pitts, the I hope Tua is kind of good, and I hope Michael Penix likes his big players. I don't know. I got to work on that bit. David Montgomery and Nico Collins from the Texans, J.K. Dobbins and Pat Bryant from the Broncos. We have a lot of good team stacks. And then our solo players are Jettas, Breece Hall, Quinshon Judkins, Travis Hunter, Emmett Johnson, the Muth on the Luth, and, of course, the Puka Nacua of this year. You heard it first from BBChosen himself, Ted motherfucking Hurst.
And the greatest thing about saying things like that are so out of pocket is, obviously people are like not going to take me that seriously if Ted Hurst isn't that great. But if Ted Hurst is that great, oh boy, will I be making thousands of dollars writing articles that no one will ever read ever again, that will have zero fantasy importance. But at least I'll have gotten that one pick right.
My friend, I believe we call that asymmetric upside and the key to touting.
That's what I'm saying. I'm built for this, baby.
So with that, I will say, Seth, it was wonderful having you on. Thanks for sharing your experience, and I hope other tout hopefuls have a similar experience to you and get to experience the emotional joy of getting in. And honestly, if you guys are going through that reaction, have somebody record you or record yourself and make sure you send it to Pete Overzet, because that is some really good content.
For sure.
With that, this is BBChosen and Rick Aduza from the Tout House. Tout Hopefuls signing off. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments, and feel free to roast either BBChosen or me. Cheers, guys.
But roast Rick, not me.
Yeah, mostly roast me. I'm just an easier target.